So you see what your boy King say so, and I'm back for it to it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, make sure you always watch the full video.
This is Mackenzie Shirilla. She's a 17-year-old who was found guilty of murder for causing a car crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Shirilla's boyfriend,
How did it happen,
Dominic
though?
Russo, and his friend, Davian Flanagan, were in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building outside of Cleveland.
I remember this. She drove head first. Like they said, she didn't even try to stop. I remember this.
Going
never-
100
I
miles per hour.
didn't see the,
Both men were
finishing of it.
pronounced dead at the scene, and Shirilla survived. Prosecutors argued that the teen had a toxic relationship, and Shirilla had made violent threats against her boyfriend.
Threatened his property. She threatened to break into his house.
Correct.
Reportedly, she crashed her car on purpose because she wanted to kill her boyfriend, and that his friend was just collateral damage. The prosecutor said the intent was obvious upon seeing that video, that there was only one goal.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
And a few days
Yes.
before the crash, she alleged
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. It's never that deep. No matter what, like, if this person is, y'all could have been together 30 years. If this person wants to leave, this person want to cheat, let them go. Just, yes, again, I've been through no, just like most of us. We all done been through a heavy breakup we didn't want to happen. It happened. We was heartbroken. We went through the motions and that whatever. That moment is gonna pass. That pain that you're feeling is gonna pass. The sadness is gonna pass. And just like it was a time you didn't even know that person, so you finna unalive yourself for them? Hell no.
took the same route to plot the crime. This is where the judge now finds her guilty.
Count one. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo.
She now stands up to be placed in handcuffs as she continues to tear up.
Count two. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Davian Flanagan.
Shirilla now has a moment to speak before her
Full body,
sentencing.
boy.
Families of Dom and Davia, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
Nah, it seemed like you was trying to party unalive everybody, but you just happened to survive, and now you gotta suffer the consequences. Nah, I wasn't gonna say she probably it still is a chance that by her being 17, but you catching two bodies though, it might be over. They might try you as an adult. It might be over.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder.
No.
There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison.
Oh, yeah.
She's sentenced on count one, 15 years to life. Count two, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
The judge just sentenced her to 15 years to life in prison.
She ain't doing life though. She gonna do half that and get out.
This is Aiden Fucci, who pled guilty in court for the murder of his classmate when he was only 14 years old.
Having fun in a cop car.
Yep.
Fucci was classmates with a 13-year-old girl from Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida. Fucci stabbed her 114 times. Her dead body was later recovered from the woods. After Fucci was arrested, he can be seen in the back of the cop car taking Snapchats. Now,
Yeah, he ain't got no remorse. 100 times, bro. You're tired after 5. I ain't never done it, but just imagine punching somebody. Like, that's what you're doing, because people think, oh, it's a knife, it's flesh, it's gonna be easy. Our skin is tough, and it's layers of it. So you gotta force that through, and it's to do it 100 times. You had to take a break and then go at it again. There's no way you would just. Like, I'm tired already, and I don't even know how many that was. I'm tired already. Like no exaggeration, no funniness, no nothing.
Now, this video shows Fucci and his parents in the interrogation room.
That Snapchat that you did was not very smart.
Like you're all over the internet everywhere. This is serious.
It's very serious.
This isn't no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
He don't care.
A video from prosecutors showed Fucci and the girl allegedly walking together right before she was murdered. Then about 90 minutes later, the video shows Fucci allegedly running away from the area where the body was found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After Fucci pled guilty
She tried
to
to
first-degree
fight him
murder,
off,
the
bro.
judge now hands down his sentence.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
After Fucci was sentenced, he stood still with a little movement. This is Willard Miller and Jeremy
25,
Goodale,
bro.
and at just 16 years old, they are both charged for the murder of their high school Spanish teacher. Reportedly, it was over a bad grade.
We then moved her off of the trail, where I then struck her, and she died as a result.
Miller and Goodale
Because she gave you a bad grade. A bad grade. I gave you a D. You passed. You still passing, bro. My parents is going to kill. No, they're not. That's something that parents say. But then again, parents probably need to stop saying that to these kids because they probably be really thinking it. They probably really be thinking it, bro.
went to Fairfield High School in southeastern Iowa. Nohema Graber was the Spanish teacher at the school, and Miller was one of her students. After he received a bad grade from Graber, he and his friend Goodale planned to kill her.
We discussed a general plan. I'll stand up here, look out, wait for Ms. Graber to show up.
Graber went for her usual walk at Chattawaka City Park. The boys knew that as they stalked her and they waited to ambush her.
Here she comes.
This is an old lady.
She walked by, hit her in the back of the head, and then I said, "Oh shit, make sure she's dead." So we hit her a couple more times.
They then dragged her into the woods and beat her to death with a baseball bat.
What was the plan after that? There wasn't really a plan beyond that. Like hide the body, bury the body, save the body. At that time, we were going to hide the body. I guess in our arrogance, we kind of assumed that nobody would ever find her.
Not long after, both boys were arrested. Court documents allege that the witness who knew Goodale showed law enforcement Snapchat messages that showed Goodale and Miller's involvement in the murder. One of the Snapchat messages saying, "Point of view, you're my Spanish teacher, and this is the last thing you see," followed by, "Time to hide a body." Jeremy
this
Goodale will
premeditated.
later plead guilty and testify against his best friend Miller.
I understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graber.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
This is the moment that Goodale gets to speak before his sentence.
I've had time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry, truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
And now the judge hands
Over a
down his
grade,
sentence.
bro.
Defendants shall be sentenced
A
to
grade.
life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Now for Miller. This is him apologizing before he receives his sentence.
Nah, he shouldn't have got that. Even though he snitched on his best friend. But no, bro. No. You don't get no chance of parole, bro. This is an old lady. You stalked her, ambushed her, hit her in the head, dragged her. No, nigga. No, you're standing there for the rest of your life. That's what I be saying. Like, when it comes to justice, bro, these are crimes that they should be locked up for life, over and over. Because they would give people who are selling, things that they shouldn't be selling. We're going to say that. Life. Done. 35, 45 to life. But you get this person who just unalived this old lady who gave them a bad grade. Man.
I'd like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Naheem McGregor. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation. And I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be in so long that I forget about what matters, where I come from, and I look forward to getting through this.
Why? She did. She don't remember. She's not gonna remember. She don't get a chance to be unalived. She don't want to be institutionalized for the what, nigga? Hell no, bro.
And now the judge
That's
has
an old
some
lady,
final
bro.
last words.
That's somebody.
Defendant
That's somebody's
Willard
mom.
Noble
Somebody's
Chase
grandma,
Miller
nigga.
should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Miller seems to be completely unfazed. This is Rachel Shoaf and Sheila Eddy, who are both in court today for the murder of their friend when they were only 16 years old.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed-upon moment.
In Star City, West Virginia, Shoaf and Eddy were friends with 16-year-old Skylar Neese. Reportedly, Shoaf and Eddy decided they didn't like Neese anymore, so they planned to kill her.
Sheila Eddy and Rachel Shoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed Skylar.
After Shoaf's confession, both teens were arrested. Shoaf agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for her cooperation in the case.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
After securing a plea deal, the judge now gives Shoaf her sentence.
Rachel Shoaf, it is a sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
But she will have the possibility of parole in 10 years. And now for Eddy.
It is a sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.
No, these motherfuckers don't get no parole, man. No, parole should be for people for non-violent crimes, for accidents, not for shit that you planned.